Okay, so dear Dharma practitioners, be comfortable yourself and relax your body and keep your back straight and neck head straight in one line and your right palm on your left. Gently close your eyes and bring your attention to this bell sound. And while you're focusing to the sound, mentally relax your body, relax your mind and relax your breathing with your thoughts. So do nothing extra. Just follow the sound, please. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Exalted One, the fully enlightened One. So dear Dhamma practitioners, before we start our practice session, we'll take few minutes to clarify ourselves how this practice can help for us to develop our conventional life, and at the same time how it can beneficial for our spiritual development. So as you know, people do this all the spiritual practice looking for happiness and satisfaction. So today we're going to little bit look into how through this practice you can gain happiness and how it is possible. Is it practical? Because sometimes that in this very conventional life, the happiness that what we think it's different person to person. But still, when it comes to eternal happiness, it is not different like that. We all going to have the same kind of recognition or the understanding. We all has ability to tune to the same kind of conscious vibration or the conscious field. So how it is possible? And when it comes to that, we have to say how the suffering happens, how the unsatisfaction happens. And the most of time we think it is because of the outside reasons, circumstances, environment. But according to the Dhamma, according to the teachings, when the perception comes to us, that once you perceive it, what happened in that very moment, the way you take it going to make you happy or unhappy. So even though things happen outside, the way we understand it person to person different. And why it is different? It's different because according to our history, according to our background. So in this very moment, even though that 10 of us here around, and then how that going to be in 10 ways that going to affect for that all the 10 people, because that 10 people came from 10 different places, but still in the same place. So then how it going to have change? That means the way we think has ability to change the informations. So that is the very behavior of the sanskara. So another way we call the mental formations, the klesha or the cankers. What it does, when the perception come to you, when you perceive this mental formations does, it twists it. That's the mechanism of the klesha or the sanskara or the mental formations or the memory or that all your thoughts base, that the history. It twists the experience. And how it twists? It twists according to once you bring your memory or once you bring your past experience to the present, and using the past experience, it's a mental behavior. When using your past experience, once you try to understand the present moment, then it twists to different way of understanding. So then, is there any way without memory we can understand? There is a way, but before we go into that place, there is a way we can clean our memory. So the memory, most of time we accumulated through the previous lives, and even in this very lifetime in the history, the memory that we accumulated related to most of the outside informations. That we have 6 medias, eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, the medias, we receive that all through all the medias. What happens? We used to do the same thing. Using the past experience, we analyze that. So now, when it comes to the meditation, how you can, when it comes to the mindfulness, how you can change it. In the very first level, what happens, this, rather than going towards outside informations, your mind start to behave with self-remembering. So the self-remembering means that whatever happening inside you, you can recognize and you remember it. So now, before we used to go into outside and collect information, and whatever happened outside, even it came to us, that we give the attention to beyond us, and we collected that information. So now we have it. So that's why now whatever we experience, we use that information as memory. So from now, through the meditation, another way we call self-awareness, once you develop the self-awareness, what happens, rather than memory go towards outward, the memory start to turn inward. Memory turn inward to yourself. So then you memorize that whatever happened in you. So that is the very first level that you reach to some kind of change. And now, when in that very next moment, now you have the memory. Just imagine you keep practice a little bit. Now you have the memory and you have the awareness within you, and you know what is happening in you. Once you know what is happening in you, in the very next level, whatever you perceive in that very moment, you're not going to mix with that perception with your inner experience. So that's where this discipline comes. Because you know, as example, there's an anger rise. It's a very, very natural. So now you have the self-awareness to see you are angry. So in that very moment, somebody else come to you and say something. So now you're not going to react to it. Maybe you have the greed, disappointment, unhappiness, unbalance, and you know if you react to that, it doesn't work. So then you're not going to react. See, that's how the self-discipline comes, because when you develop the memory turn inward, you develop the self-awareness, and when the perception arises, and you're not going to mix it with, and if there is something related to loving kindness, generosity, compassion, so kind of like that, then you know how to react to it. So that way, you create a certain kind of pattern in you, go with the outside world. So when you're capable to maintain it moment by moment, what happens? You are not afraid for your own memory. That is where the discipline bring the confidence to you. Now you know, because you see you are inside, you are not depending from your past. Now you know you are inside, and you depending moment by moment, and knowingly that what is happening inside, and then the perception come, you're not going to worry about it. So then now you reduce the power of the sanskara, or the power of the mental formations, the power of the cankers, because you purify the mind. So that is how your clarity going to come. And when it comes to that level, what happens? In the very moment of the perception, become very clear, and you get out of the suffering, unsatisfaction, fear. Why? Because in the moment of perception, become very clear, and you know you have the self-awareness, and now you know what is happening in you. And when you capable to handle that, balance this both, and out of that, you always capable to find the equanimity. So that is the ultimate result of this whole practice. That is the highest of even enlightenment, having the equanimity, balancing, harness inside, outside together, equalize inside, outside together. So then, another thing is, it is become a kind of like an enlightenment factor, or the quality of enlightenment, and that is the highest quality. So, and once you know this, the both side in a bigger picture, it is very easy for you to practice that, the work with it. So practice giving you that understanding. So then, and even when it comes to the spiritual life, we have to remember, and sometimes we have some kind of wrong ideas about samadhi. And when it comes to that tranquility state, in the samadhi, what happens? You are capable to see things as it is without any disturb. Inside, outside, both. But most of time, we have deeper intention. Listen this very carefully and try to grab it. Most of time we think this liberation, transformation, tranquility state, high mental powers, and giving you a kind of like a space to separate from others. It's a kind of like some people believe this liberation, enlightenment is a self-centered state of separation. That's a very wrong idea. And the most of people practice meditation looking for happiness and satisfaction and kind of like ultimate happiness. Oh, I can find a space myself, not to get disturbed from others. Oh, I'm going to have my own open space and no one can disturb me. And it's kind of like, when the president, go in the parade, that all the security go in the front and, take everybody out. And sometimes the king or the queen, come out of the palace, and everybody go, away and give the space. And our egocentric mind also the same. And we think our samadhi, our attainment of liberation is kind of like a place when we attain to the liberation, all the problems disappear and go away and give the space and everything open for me. That's what we people believe. It's not going to happen. There's nothing like that. You make the disturb or the trouble, you make more strong if you believe that way. That is not the Buddha's teaching. But most of us look for that kind of levitation and the kind of like, oh, meditation now. That means, I practice meditation. I should gain some kind of peace, harmony, myself, not to get disturbed from anything. Even in day-to-day life, that's what the idea. As example, in case when people practice meditation, and sometimes if the person get angry and mad, and some other people say, hey, you practice meditation, huh? Why you get mad? So kind of like that. And it think kind of like, it's a kind of like a meditation. You can attain to samadhi, kind of like a hibernate, that the bear, So you go to kind of like a mood and all the activities, need to shut down. It's not like that. See that highest level of, the enlightenment factor is equanimity. So try to grab it. And in day-to-day life, try to get it to your mind first. And then it will, because once, that's the very nature of our human life. Once you are capable to get into your mind, and that will slowly, you can have an ability to get into practice. So the peace of mind is not that absence of any kind of conflict or the problems. It is an ability of coping, harmonizing, tranquilizing, keep balance with the in and out. That is the quality of equanimity. There is no dualistic mind, there is no separation, there is no resistance, because this is the very nature. Remember this. If you resist, you can't experience. You're always in a struggle. If you resist the life change, you will never experience what is change. You resist the life, you will never experience what is life. Look at your own past. So whatever happened to you, that you accept it, and if you accept it and go forward, then you see something, and then you appreciate that whatever happens, wherever you are today. It came out of all the change. But remember, if you are holding it to one place and struggling and putting an army around you and not allowing to that change happen, and if you maintain the same thing, you're never going to be like this today. So then once you come to understand, so that is the very nature of life, you accept it. So that acceptance itself brings a connection to to be with it, allowing to be there like that. So it's kind of like a let it be, let it be. So when you kind of like come to your mind to let it be, what are the list of let it be? Remember, everything. Once you come to the point, 100%, everything, to let it be, you get into the total acceptance. In that total acceptance, only you have the experience, no resistance. Try to grab it. Once you have it. So it is inside, outside, both. So once the inside, outside, both come together, there is no separation. But we always into separation. We look into that. We always make it special. That make it special. We create the separation. And today is the International Women's Day. You know, that is the most, that the kind of like, you know, stupid things that as human beings we does. When we look at our human history, and the men's, through their spirituality, economy, politics, you know, the culture, tradition, that through everything, if you look at the human history, we are the who abused the women in the society. We are the one who never gave freedom to them. But the Buddha is the one who, you know, equalized the men's and women's, the both. Even this Buddha statue, that what you can behind me, what you can see. The Buddha statue, when they make it in the ancient time, the great artist, they reduced the power of emotions. How they did that? Because if it is a man, just the man structure, when the women see it, all the emotions can arise, like a Greek style, you know, statues, you know, very kind of like a masculine. When the women see that, you know, that they like it, and the emotions arise. And when it comes to Eastern, you know, Indian kind of like all the statues, artwork, that everything has the feminine quality. And when the men see that, and their emotions arise. But when you see the Buddha statue, you don't feel any kind of emotions like that way. But today there are some kind of, you know, artists, they may create the Buddha statue kind of like a way, like, you know, when people see that, they see, they more emotionally, you know, attached to the statue. But that is not the right way. But in the ancient time, how they did that? The man and the woman, they are the physical qualities, they put together, mix it, and that's how they build the Buddha statue. See, the power of, you know, equalizing, neutralize the emotions. That is the science. So when it comes to wisdom path, remember, there is no men or women or kind of like that way. That when we come to that point, we destroy that, our point of view. You will never get into something, because at the same time, we have to look, you know, in any religion, kind of like you know, Abrahamic traditions, when it comes to the world, in the religions, where are the women's? You know, where are the women's? But still we try to talk about it. But no, when it comes to the wisdom path, that's why it's the highest factor of enlightenment, the equanimity. So in the socially, economically, you know, culturally, as an ordinary person, you have to come to the point in day-to-day life, it little bit rather than separation, rather than, separating things, rather than kind of like, put into places, rather than, resisting things. Accept how much you have to, same like as you are. 100%. It is not you are 100%, another person 99%. No, 100%. Same you, the same other person. Then there is no separation. So that's why the power of the equality is something that make your whole nerve system into tune to the universal energy. Because this separation take us to the next moment or the journey. That is the power. That is what to make us, put it to identity. See, that self-identity, self-separation, create a self-center. That self-center think, oh, I attain to enlightenment, then other people should not be around me and not to disturb me like that. No, that's so crazy. That's so crazy. So, but the Buddha's teaching is not like that. It doesn't care. Buddha doesn't care, the men or the women, so like that. The Buddha used to talk about the power of the human mind. That's it. Mano pubbangama dhamma. Mind is the forerunner. Forget about the men's brain or the women's brain. It is good for this nighttime shows, to laugh for people. But when it comes to religion, we have to be more mature. We have to be more authentic. We have to come to the point. We have to be in the ground and and look into the world. So that's why this equanimity is something that in day-to-day life you always have to practice, and that will uplift your whole the moment of awareness. So that is how you generate the happiness. Changing your own point of view. And when it comes to that, what happens, your whole samsaric journey, that whatever the memory that you accumulated going to become kind of like a dust. It's become powerless. You're not going to be anymore the memory carrier to forward. Because in the moment, you are depending in the self-awareness, that means recognizing what is happening you, and according to that, you're responding to your perception. That's it. And when it comes to that moment, there is no suffering. There is always your awareness guiding the moment. So if you are experiencing it for one single moment, just imagine. And how about if you increase the duration, 5 minutes, in that 5 minutes, your self-awareness governing your inside and outside without criticizing, without separating, without any kind of putting to resistance, and without any comparison. And then you and the outside, the both same. That's why, that is where the perception and the perceiver, experience and experiencer, and going to be the subject and the object, and going to be the same. And when it comes to that level, you just experience it. And in that very moment, you are capable to understand. This is the very important, this very moment of you came to experience this as a result of causality, causation. And then you become more humble, because you are the result of this, everything around you And then how you can separate that? You become more vulnerable about it. You become more humble about it. And you more respect about it. You pay your gratitude about it. And that is where this equality to bring the beauty to your life. With everything, not only for the good things. Don't look for that. Don't appreciate, don't humble, don't be nice only for good things. Be nice for bad things also. That is the power with this both. But we learn, we practice only for good things to be nice. That's why when we see it says this, don't address the bad things as bad. It's going to become more powerful. So see that if you have the equanimity, you become humble, you become respectful to the both good and bad. Why? Because you are the result of that all. So then the bad also going to become a good in a certain way. Then you know yourself, whatever the horrible, bad, very, that the situations happen to you in the past. And you know how difficult it was, but later it brought you some kind of light better than all the good moments. So, but the thing is, we had that, we can see it, but still when it happened to us today, we have no power to take it as something good. Why? Because we always have the separation, dualistic mind. So with this practice, little by little, we observe the inhalation, exhalation, and by the time, the inhalation, exhalation, the both, it's become just the breathing. And it become your body. When you observe deeply inhalation, exhalation, and it is only in this very moment you have the separation. But when it go to your inside, when it go to your body, when it happen in your body, there is no separation. The both equally giving you the life. It is not inhalation going to be, oh, I like only inhalation. You can't say, oh, I take only exhalation side because it is so good. When I exhale, I feel so good. No, it's both giving you the same life. And not only that, if you go a little bit more deeper, it giving you the power of mind, and the power of heart, and the power of recognition. This all come as harmonizing this everything together in that very level. In the nature, there is no this is better than this, so there is no better than that, or kind of like that. So please try to understand it yourself. And in day-to-day life, little by little, I know it is hard because we are more trained and rationalize ourselves, and we are more into separate things, and we are more even ourselves trying to separate from things and trying to find our own space everywhere, even in enlightenment. Even if you are planning to go to heaven, you are planning to go to your own place. So that's our human nature. But still, try to little by little be matured yourself and gain this spiritual practice to yourself. And as an ordinary person, little bit try to practice yourself. Maybe it bring kind of like a turbulence, but still you are capable to go through that. And by the time when it come to yourself, and you will see when it comes to equanimity, there is no any separation. This everything equal. So with that, let's get into practice a little bit now. So your right palm on your left, neck head straight in one line, and be comfortable with your posture. So bring your attention to your body and scan head to toes 3 times yourself and say Suapat Deva, or may I be well and happy. And take a moment and think, we gathered here in this moment to practice this ancient meditation technique. All the Buddhas, all the enlightened masters followed this path and achieved wisdom. So we also gathered here to accumulate that knowledge. In this moment with this sitting, may my body become more comfortable, may my breath be more smooth, may no difficulties come to me, may all the success come to me. Also think for a moment, this is the last moment we're spending in this very lifetime, and detach your mind from all your past memories and as well as any kind of future thoughts. Just try to remain in the present moment, observing the sensation of inhalation and exhalation. So in the beginning, deeply and gently, breathe in, breathe out 3 times and find the sensation, please. And allow your inhalations, exhalations happen itself. And when it happens, through the sensation, recognize it, not by visualizing, dreaming, thinking, or verbalizing, just by through the sensation. Do nothing extra. Bring your attention to your body, please. Observe your posture. We cultivate loving kindness and compassion in your heart and radiate it as a light through entire your compound, village, city, state, country, world, around this universe, also as far as you can, through galaxies, other planets, stars. Reminding yourself like this. With clear intention, mentally repeat after me. May all living beings in this universe be well and happy. May everyone be happy and safe. And may their hearts be filled with joy. May all living beings live in security and in peace. Beings who are frail or strong, tall or short, big or small, visible or not visible, near or far away, already born or yet to be born. May all of them dwell in perfect tranquility. Let no one do harm to anyone. Let no one put the life of anyone in danger. Let no one out of anger or ill will wish anyone any harm. Expand the loving kindness and compassion beginning from your heart. Forward. Visualize yourself and send it as a light. To your backside. To your left side. And to your right side. Downward. And upward. To all six directions at once, like the moon, the sun, spread the light, spread the energy, without any condition, without any limitation, without any resistance or without any judgment. Let your heart to shine with the loving kindness and compassion from the bottom of it with the maximum effort to the highest. Wishing yourself, may all living beings in this universe be well and happy. Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So first of all, we offer this practice to the great qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. And also by the power of this meritorious deed, may all of us attain to the supreme bliss of Nibbana. May all your guardian angels and deities will receive these merits and increase their longevity and protect all of you from any kind of planetary influences or any ill effects. Ittavata chamni sampadam punya sampadam sabbe deva numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhuta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe satta numodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Imaya dhammanu dhamma patipattiya buddham pujemi dhammam pujemi sangham pujemi. Attaya imaya patipattiya jati jara vyadhi maranam ha paribunjissami. Idam me punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you.